Every journey in human history, every road ever traveled, every ocean crossed, every frontier conquered, leads back to a single invention, the machine that powers our modern world. The reason we reached the moon, the reason we conquered the skies, the force behind empires and kingdoms. For thousands of years, every road seemed to lead here. One invention, one idea, the wheel.
Unveil the secrets of our past. Explore the dawn of history. On humanity's oldest, humanity's greatest invention. The foundation of every car, every train, invented in Mesopotamia, roughly 5,400 years ago. Case closed. Let's go home. Right? Except there's one problem. Humans had already been moving across the earth for tens of thousands of years. For thousands of years, they walked, driven by a shifting climate, across a world untouched and wild. This was the dawn of our story. The wheel wasn't first. It wasn't even close. Go back just a few centuries earlier, and the wheel doesn't exist yet.
But people were already moving heavy loads, using sledges. Flat wooden frames dragged across the ground on simple runners. In the earliest written records ever discovered, in the city of Uruk,
the symbol for sledge appears nearly 40 times. The symbol for wagon? Only 3. The wheel was the upgrade, not the invention.
The sledge wasn't replaced by the wheel. The wheel was bolted onto the sledge. Think about what this person understood. No school, no engineering textbook, no blueprint. Just a problem. I need to move something heavier than I can carry. And a solution so simple it worked for thousands of years before anyone thought to improve it. The sledge didn't need the wheel. The wheel needed the sledge. Every car, every train, every vehicle that has ever carried a human being owes something to a person who tied 2 planks of wood together and dragged them across the dirt. Before the wheel, there was just someone who refused to carry it alone. If these stories make you see history differently, leave a like, subscribe, and let's continue exploring humanity's oldest secrets together.
Now go back further, not centuries, millennia.
In 2025, archaeologists in New Mexico found something that shouldn't have survived. Footprints, preserved in ancient mud for thousands of years. And beside them, 2 long parallel grooves. Drag marks, left by 2 wooden poles, tied together, pulled by hand. Researchers call this device a travois. Indigenous peoples across North America were still using it into the 20th century. But these tracks, 22,000 years old. That's 17,000 years before anyone built a wheel. No axle, no rotation, no invention at all, really. Just 2 sticks, and someone who needed to carry more than their arms could hold. Think about the world this person lived in. The last ice age. No metal, no domesticated animals, no written language. And still, they solved a problem that would define transportation for the next 22,000 years. How do you move more than you can carry without anything that rolls? You don't lift it, you drag it. Before the sledge, before the wheel. There was just rope, wood, and someone walking forward, dragging the weight of everything they owned into the next 22,000 years. If 22,000 years ago felt impossible, it still wasn't far enough back. While some humans were dragging sledges across solid ground, others were doing something far more dangerous. They were crossing open ocean. Around 30,000 years ago, early humans in East Asia could see islands in the distance. Islands they couldn't reach by walking. In 2019, scientists tried to recreate the journey. First, reed rafts. They failed. Then, bamboo rafts. They failed too. So they carved a dugout canoe, 7.5 meters long, a single hollowed tree trunk, built using nothing but stone axes. And it worked. They paddled it 140 miles, across one of the most dangerous currents on the entire planet. Think about what this means. Tens of thousands of years before anyone thought to put a wheel on a cart, humans were already building vessels strong enough to conquer the ocean. No compass, no charts, no way to call for help. Just a hollowed log, and the will to reach land they could only see on the horizon. Before the sledge, before the travois, there was someone who looked at the ocean and decided the water wasn't a wall, it was a road. If 30,000 years ago felt impossible, it still wasn't far enough back. Before humanity built, before humanity carved, before humanity invented, there was a simple observation. Water could carry what human hands could not. Imagine a world nearly 100,000 years ago. There were no roads, no bridges, no maps. Every river was a barrier. Every crossing was a gamble between life and death. A hunting party arrives at the edge of a fast-moving river. On the opposite bank, food, shelter, safety. But between them lies a force they cannot fight. They cannot swim across carrying children. They cannot drag supplies beneath the water. And they cannot simply turn back. Then something remarkable happens. A dead tree falls into the river. Instead of sinking, it floats. It doesn't struggle. It doesn't resist. The water carries it. Perhaps someone wondered, if the river can carry the tree, could it carry me? No engineer drew a plan. No inventor announced a discovery. There was only curiosity. One careful hand, one cautious step, one extraordinary realization. The river was no longer just an obstacle. It had become a road. We have no fossil, no blueprint, no preserved floating log to prove this moment happened. Wood disappears. Time erases its oldest inventions. But archaeology tells us something equally astonishing. Tens of thousands of years ago, humans somehow crossed rivers, lakes, and eventually seas. They reached places that could never have been reached. By walking alone. Maybe the first vehicle wasn't built. Maybe it was simply found. A floating tree transformed by human imagination. But one log could only carry so much. Soon humanity would ask an even greater question. What if we could build?
The fire we kindled, the vessels we carved, they carried us across vast oceans, driven by the stars above. Now we sail the cosmos. Unveil the secrets of our past. Explore the dawn of history. On humanity's oldest.
If these stories make you see history differently, leave a like, subscribe, and let's continue exploring humanity's oldest secrets together.